right, I got 10 questions, bro.
10.
10, 10, 10, 10. Lucky 10.
Let's run it.
All right, all right. Can you share a bit about your journey into the world of EDM and DJing?
I started when I was 15 years old. So in 2015, I started in this festival called Darkwood's Dream Festival. And that was my first gig ever. I still, to this day, believe that I was not ready, but it was a good introduction to the industry and to the scene of Tijuana. And they're very, like, how do I say this without sounding mean? It's a trial by fire, the scene in TJ. And so that was like my first exposure to it. And I had this sort of idea that I wanted to kind of prove the haters wrong.
Right.
And so it just kind of drove me to develop my style. And since then I played Darkwoods 2016, 2017. I didn't play 2018 and 2019, but in 2018 I got to open for Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike in Mexico City. And that's how I met one of the agents that I work with. And that guy casually mentioned one time, like, hey, I'm friends with the guys at EDC Mexico. If you guys ever want to pitch your project, let me know. I can probably get you guys in. Wow. And we pitched the project 4 times. I've played 3 times. So
wow.
I've only been rejected once. Yeah. So
wow, good for you, bro.
Thank you, brother.
That's so dope.
Thank you. So that was the last gig that I played as EDC Mexico 2024. It was my 3rd time playing. And what else? Oh, during the pandemic, I there was no shows, so I was doing live streams at my house in my little home studio. And we started this project, my dad and I, because my dad is my manager.
Right.
We started this project called Oskier and Friends, where we did just that. It was I invited friends who are DJs, and we would play sets.
Oh, that's cool.
And we did one live stream in 2020, another one in 2021, and then in 2022 we turned those live streams into live events. So we've done one
live events like in
person.
In person.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we do at the Tap House.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
And we did one for Halloween in 2022, and then we did one last year here in San Diego. And maybe we'll do one this year.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
That's all I'll say for now.
And how do you approach crafting your DJ sets for festivals like EDC?
It's always the same. It's never really, like, I don't really take a different approach for different shows. Like, the planning process is always the same. First of all, I have to take into account the venue, the show, the type of crowd, and then I go from there. And what I do is it's kind of not really DJing, because what DJs do is they grab a bunch of songs and then they select in the moment. I don't do that. That
damn.
Kind of gives me anxiety, because I'm like, oh man, am I picking the right song? So what I do is I sort of pre-plan my sets, so I always know what I'm going to play next.
Right.
That's not a really great strategy, because it's happened a few times where I play a set and I'm like, oh wow, the crowd doesn't like it. It's gonna be a long hour. If they don't like it now, they're not gonna like it later.
So when you do that, do you have like a backup drive to go back to those songs?
Nope.
No, you just run it through.
I power through it.
You power through it.
Yeah.
Damn.
It happens. Sometimes you need those experiences.
Okay.
And yeah, so I always plan my sets in that way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I plan my sets in Ableton. So what I do is I line up the tracks exactly like where I want to start and where I want to end and transition into a different song. And I started to create this sort of roadmap. And once that's done, I just go into Rekordbox and I put in the cue points exactly where I want to start and where I want to end.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's how I plan my sets.
So that's how you plan your sets. I see. And then when you load up Rekordbox and you put in your drive, do you have all the songs just lined up?
Yeah, in order.
In order?
Yeah. So I don't have to be looking for them. Yeah.
And how long do you play each song? Like give or take estimate.
A minute.
A minute? Yeah.
So it's common for me to play 60 songs in a set.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
one
it's
song a minute.
one song
Yeah.
a minute, and then equals to an hour.
Yeah.
Gotcha. EDC is known for its massive stages and energetic crowds, bro. How do you prepare mentally and physically for such high energy performances?
So physically,
Because like I know that the stage is huge, you know, and then
Yes.
you got millions of fans, and they pay a lot of money to go to this.
I don't know about millions.
But I
Me
know
personally.
I know it's not millions, but I'm just exaggerating over it.
Yeah.
But you know, do you get anxiety, or how do you feel about going through it?
At this point, I'm kind of used to it. I've always been kind of like nonchalant about it. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a show. But in the moment, like right before I go on stage,
right.
I do start to get anxiety.
Mm.
Not because I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna perform in front of people. It's not that. It's like I'm scared of messing up in front of people and
I see.
sort of like, you know, looking dumb.
Mhm.
So mentally, I don't really prepare.
Okay.
Just like, okay, cool, we're doing this.
This is whatever. No drinks, nothing.
Oh, so typically, physically,
Okay, physically.
I start going to the gym. This last time that I went to EDC, I was like, nah,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. But I wasn't drinking before, which I'd never done before. I'd
Mhm.
never like stopped drinking before a show. I just did it because I was like, I kind of need to be on my best behavior.
Oh, I see.
And then, you know what? After the show, maybe I'll have a few drinks. But I didn't like turn up until after I came back from EDC Mexico.
Okay. I feel
and-
like it's like a reward, you know, when you do that.
yeah, I don't.
In a way.
Yes, it is. I don't like drinking before shows in general.
Okay.
Like that day.
Like that day
Yeah.
of, or before, or any time.
Yeah, it's like before. It's because a lot of people, even people like high up in the industry, they see it as like a party, and that's cool. That's fine. I understand completely. I see it as work. Like, I don't really want to be drunk on the job. Like once I'm done, like sure, it's fair game. But before, no. Like we're there to work.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that physically. I said that I'd start going to the gym, and it's particularly important when going to EDC Mexico because of the altitude. It is hard to breathe in Mexico City. Just being there, just standing still,
Yeah.
dancing and singing. It happens where I was like, it's hard.
Yeah.
And then this time I wasn't doing any physical activity, so I kind of regretted it. So I couldn't really move and groove like I wanted to.
I totally understand, because altitude plays a whole part of just the atmosphere, you know? Because it's taking a toll on me, because I went to Colorado,
Mhm.
and the altitude is like crazy high. I'm like, dude, I'm like lightheaded, and I'm about to my heart's about to come out of my chest, you know? It's crazy. But that's a good thing, you know?
How high is the altitude in Denver?
I think it's like
Or-
12,000.
Did you say Denver or did you say Colorado?
I went to Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, Colorado.
Cool.
Colorado, Denver.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, it's super high. I was doing hikes and almost passed out. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good
Yeah.
at all. I was like super lightheaded. I had to take like 5 breaks, and I had to go over like 6 bridges. Yeah, it was bad. I thought I had it in the bag, you know?
Are you a hiking guy?
Yeah, I'm a hiking junkie.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not me. That's definitely not me.
That's fair, bro. That's fair. I mean, each to their own, you know?
I did Three Sisters once.
3 Sister Falls.
Yeah. I never wanted to die so much in my life. It
Oh
was
my God.
the worst experience.
Mhm.
It's like what, 3 hours to get there and then 3 to get back, something like that.
Yeah, just about. It depends on your pace.
It was a full day, and I did not have the shoes for it. I didn't know,
yeah.
and I remember that
Wait,
day.
what kind of shoes did you bring?
I was I
Was
forgot.
it Converse?
No.
No, no.
They were Nikes, but I forgot what they're called. But it was those like foam,
foam.
the foam Nikes. The point.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like running shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that I needed shoes with traction, and so It was not a fun time. I
No.
fell in the lake too, trying to jump over some rocks.
No way.
Yeah, it was. I hated it.
Did you like break anything or
No, no, no,
no?
no.
Okay,
My
cool,
spirit.
cool. Your spirit.
That's it.
Your spirit
Yeah.
broke. That's funny, bro. That's funny. Man, do you have any like memorable moments while playing at ADC? Like, what was your favorite moment?
Ooh. Um. The end.
The end.
Because
Like, are we talking about like your third time you performed in EDC or?
yeah, so the end of the third time. Each time it was very different. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but the second time that I played, it did not go the way that I wanted it to. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I would love to keep working with them in the future. But that year, it kind of it kind of broke my spirit, much like Three Sisters.
Okay. Okay.
And so this year, I was trying to go in with like no expectations as to how it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I never took a moment this last time to really take it in, like what I was doing and what was happening, until the very end of my set. There was this moment where I was playing this mashup from this group that I really like called Studio Killers. I messaged them. I was like, hey, I'm playing EDC. I've always wanted to play this mashup of yours. I wanted to play it since the very first time that I played a show. I'm playing EDC. What's up? Can you guys send me the mashup? They were like, yeah, dude, of course. And they sent it to me. So I was like, cool, I get to play this. And I ended my set with that mashup. And while I was playing that mashup at the end of my set, there was like confetti going around. And I remember I looked up and it was just like the blue sky, because it was still daylight out.
Oh.
It was the blue sky and there was like a bunch of confetti falling. And I was like, whoa, that looks dope. And then I just looked down and there's like this ocean of people. And I was like, oh man, like I'm playing EDC right now. I'm playing Circuit Grounds. It's like the second biggest stage. And like it kind of hit me like it was all worth it. As opposed to the year prior where I didn't really like how things went.
Oh,
So this year I was like, well, man, like this is perfect. Like I couldn't have asked for anything better.
that's
So
dope.
it was really gratifying, especially because after that performance last year, I was really questioning like, oh man, like, am I even supposed to do this? But like, I feel like that moment like set me back on the right track.
That's
Like,
good.
oh yeah, dude, like just gotta keep doing this. Like, gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah, it definitely boosts your confidence.
Yeah,
you
hell
know?
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
That's dope, you know, because, you know, know exactly where you're coming from, because when I played my set, I'm like, it didn't turn out how I wanted it to be. I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it anymore, you know? But to have that experience where you're appreciated and you feel worth it, you know?
Of course, yeah.
And
dude.
it's like, dude, you want to play again, you know? You're like, damn, I want to do it again, do it again. But yeah, it's definitely a huge part when you're there in the moment and people are cheering you on and people go there just for you.
Of course.
Just for you. So yeah, definitely get where you're coming from. Let's get back to your tracks. You know, what is your creative process of going through your set? Like, how do you make it?
Oh, I thought you meant like my tracks, like the ones that I produce. But you mean like
Oh yeah,
my
yeah,
sets.
that's what I meant. You like how do you produce your set? Like produce your music?
Like my individual songs? Or?
Yeah, your individual songs.
So there's never really an idea. I find that every time that I try to make a song with something in mind, it never works out the way I want it to. And so the way that I make music is like I just try to let it flow, see what happens. I'll have maybe like an inkling of an idea, but I try not to commit too much to it, because then that's how I arrive at disappointment, because it doesn't sound the way that I want it to.
Gotcha.
If I'm like, I want to make a track in this style, all right, well, let's figure it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, that's pretty much how I make my tracks.
Just on the fly.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
The one thing that is like constant with my music production is obviously the style, the genre, electro, and I try to. It's kind of an old genre, and this is not really played it out anymore. So what I try to do is I try to sort of experiment with it and try to take it in new directions. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's pretty much it. Like there's not really much of a plan
Yeah,
when producing the songs that I do.
because I noticed that every DJ when they produce, they probably put like some certain style into it
Yeah,
and like their own niche.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I think what you're trying to say is that electro music is definitely your niche, but in your own certain way.
Yeah, uh, yeah.
In
I'm
in a
still
way.
figuring out what that niche is, like as
Mhm.
far as production wise. But that genre specifically is what uh, I gravitate towards.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I noticed that EDC is also known for a lot of collaborations. And what are some artists you would like to collaborate with?
Ooh. So the I was asked this same question at EDC actually when I
Uh,
went to go
oh, really?
do interviews. Yeah, and the answers that I gave were like, obviously everybody in the industry wants to collaborate with Skrillex at some point.
Oh,
Like obviously, like
yeah.
it's a must for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like speaking like within my genre, the artists that I'm like that I look up to the most and would love to collaborate with are Knife Party, which are they're like gods to me basically. Um,
Idols.
this guy, he's a trance producer named Mar Levy, but he has like a million different projects, each with a different genre.
Yeah.
And he has one electro project called Laser Laser Laser, which I would love to collab with him with that. Or maybe just as Mar Levy, his regular trance project. And I forgot who else I said. Oh, Space Laces.
Space
I'm not
Laces.
sure if you know who he is.
No, I do not.
He's a dubstep producer and he has some crazy sound design. And right now, Knock 2 and ISOXO are like popping
Okay.
and they're San Diego natives as well. So I would love to
Oh, nice.
make
You know,
something with them.
That'd be cool. That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Shout out to them. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe in a new project with Oskier. What advice would you give to aspiring DJs and producers who are looking to break into the EDM scene?
So as far as DJs, I would say play the music that you want. I heard recently a story about a friend of a friend who is a super fan of future bass. So like Marshmallow, Chainsmokers, Elenium, that type of style.
Okay.
But that style isn't super popular anymore, with the exception of those artists. And he said that he'd rather just play tech house because that's what's popping.
Mm.
And that kind of broke my heart because I was like, oh man, like, who cares? Like, play
Right.
whatever you want.
Right.
And it's something that I sort of encountered a lot during my early days where DJs would just play what was popular.
Mm.
And I get it, that's cool. Like, that'll definitely get a crowd moving. But is that really fulfilling?
No,
I don't think so either.
definitely not.
So play whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
And eventually you'll find like that crowd.
Right.
You will. So there's no need to try to chase trends. And networking is super important if you're DJing.
Right.
You got to meet everybody you can. That's something I learned recently, that that you have to connect with as many people as you can because you never know who you might be able to work with or who can help you out. That's what I would say in regards to
DJing.
DJing. To producing, I guess a similar sentiment to make the music you want to make, but at the same time, it's such a completely different art form, making music, than DJing. It takes way more discipline, I think,
And time.
to make music than to DJ. I've always said that like anybody can DJ, anybody can do it. Like, yeah, you might take some time in learning, but you can pick it up like that. Making music is hard. It's not easy, and then sometimes it's not even fun.
Really?
It's sometimes it's just like
Does it become like a chore? Kind of like,
it can.
you know,
There's days where I don't even feel like getting in the studio.
mm,
And not just days. It'll be like days at a time. I'll
oof.
be like, "Ugh, I don't feel like doing something." But then what will happen is that I'll have those days where I'm like, you know what? It's been a while. Let's do something. And then I'll get in the studio and like make something like that I really enjoy. So it's weird. It's more about consistency. Music production. I think that's the best advice that I can give is
Right.
be consistent with making music. That's the only way you'll get better.
I see. Yeah, for totally, totally. I totally agree with what you just said, because for first foremost, like, I think playing what you want is definitely more fulfilling than just playing the trend. Because when I play what I like, I like reggaeton,
Okay.
and not a lot of people like reggaeton right now. But
Yeah, it's kind of on the decline, no?
yeah, it's declining. And it's
Yeah.
like no one likes Latin music anymore, I feel like. But now they, put it into house just to, have like a combination
Mm-hmm.
for people. And I think when you do that, you get both of both worlds, you get the crowd now and you get the fulfillment of playing,
Yeah.
And far as for producing, I don't have no experience where it comes to making a track or so on and so forth. But producing is definitely an art form, like you said, and it can't be replicated or copied because it's you that made it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's where it's unique, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that goes for DJing as well.
You think so?
Like, why try to be somebody
Different.
else?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could
like
just be yourself.
right.
Who will be better at being you than you? That's
Hmm.
really the question.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, bro, what can fans expect from you in the coming months? Any upcoming releases or exciting projects on the horizon?
So as far as upcoming releases, I have a song that's done.
Oh shoot,
I don't know when it's coming out. That's the problem.
you got no
Yeah.
date?
No, because we feel that it's good enough to go on a label, but the problem is finding that label.
Oh, I see.
So I don't know. when it'll come out.
Label as in how?
Label, like a music label.
Oh, a music label.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a song also that should be out relatively soon, maybe.
Okay.
That's a remix. I won't say what song, but there's this kind of culture within electronic music to sort of make like bootlegs or free remixes and post them on SoundCloud. And I did one years ago, and I wanted to release another one, but I just didn't know what. And I finally have something ready, so maybe that'll release soon. Besides that, I have the Eclipse showcase with you guys,
Yes.
April 18th. I have a show that is unannounced in July here in San Diego.
Okay.
I'm not sure I
okay.
can say anything more than that. And Oskier and Friends 2024. That's all I'll say.
Nice, bro. Thank you again for coming to our show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
It's been a great time. I learned a lot from you because I'm a newbie still.
How long you been doing this?
Well, I just started actually this year.
Oh, okay. So you're
Yeah,
a baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally, bro, totally. So it's very refreshing to get more knowledge.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.